Imagine you're 56 years old. The company offers an early retirement package, a clean exit, a year of severance, the door held open politely. You've got $600,000 sitting in the 401k you built over 23 years. And the week after you sign, a friendly voice at a brokerage tells you the obvious next move. Let's roll that 401k into an IRA, get you more investment choices, keep it all tidy in one place. It sounds like good housekeeping. You sign that form, too. What nobody tells you is that the second form just locked your own money away from you for 3.5 years. Because the day you rolled that 401k into an IRA, you walked straight past the one rule that would have let you touch it penalty-free, and you bricked the door shut behind you. Pull out the $120,000 you were counting on to bridge the years until 59.5, and the IRS now takes a 10% penalty off the top. $12,000 gone for nothing, for paperwork. That rule is called the Rule of 55. It's one of the few genuinely generous things buried in the tax code, and it exists for exactly the person who just got walked out of a job in their mid-50s. Walter's not going to sugarcoat this. The rollover that feels responsible is, for a lot of early retirees, the single most expensive signature they'll ever put on paper. If you're between 54 and 59 and you've got a 401k sitting at the job you're about to leave, by choice or not, this is the most important paperwork decision of your decade. If you've already left and someone's pushing you to consolidate everything, do not sign anything until you've watched this. In the next 20 minutes, Walter's going to walk you through exactly how the Rule of 55 works, the timing rule that quietly disqualifies people who leave 1 month too early, the one account-only catch that nobody explains, the real numbers on a couple, deciding whether they can actually afford to walk away, and a one-page checklist you can carry into your HR office before you give notice, while you still have leverage. Stick around to the end, because the last trap I'll show you is one even careful people walk into, and it has nothing to do with you. In this video, you're going to learn what the Rule of 55 actually frees you from, and what it does not. The exact timing rule that decides whether you qualify down to the calendar year, why the rule only protects one specific account, and how a routine rollover destroys it permanently. The two exceptions that change the math for public safety workers and government employees. How a real couple uses the rule to bridge the gap to 59.5 without handing money to the IRS. And the hidden trap at the end, where you do everything right and your own plan still slams the door. To make it stick, you'll walk away with a checklist you can use before you ever hand in your notice. Here's the picture Walter wants you to hold for the next 20 minutes. Think of your retirement money as locked inside a vault. The main door of that vault opens at 59.5. That's the age the tax code decided you're allowed to get at your retirement savings without a penalty. Try to force the main door before then, and an alarm goes off, a 10% early withdrawal penalty on everything you pull, on top of the regular income tax you'd owe anyway. The Rule of 55 is a side door. It opens that same vault 4.5 years early, at 55 instead of 59.5, for people who separate from their employer. It is a real door. It is legal, and the IRS built it on purpose. But the side door has 3 quirks, and every mistake people make comes from forgetting one of them. First, it only opens for one room, the 401k at the job you just left, not your old accounts, not your IRAs. Second, it only opens if you walked out the right year. Leave too early and the key doesn't fit. And third, this is the one that costs people the most. The moment you move your money out of that room and into an IRA, you brick the side door shut behind you. Permanently. Until 59.5. Hold that picture. We're going to walk through that door one quirk at a time. Rule number 1. The rule of 55 kills the penalty, not the tax. Here's the part most people get wrong before they even start. The rule of 55 lets you take money out of your former employer's 401k without the 10% early withdrawal penalty, as long as you left that job in or after the year you turned 55. That's it. That's what it does. It removes the penalty. It does not make the money tax-free. Every dollar you pull from a traditional 401k is still ordinary income, taxed at your regular rate, the same way a paycheck would be, so penalty-free is not free. If you pull $100,000 in a single year, you've just stacked $100,000 of income on top of whatever else you've got coming in. And you can launch yourself into a higher bracket without meaning to. The penalty is the trap people see. The bracket is the trap they don't. We'll handle both. Rule number 2. The timing rule is decided by the calendar year, not your birthday. This one is brutal in its precision. To qualify, you have to separate from your employer during or after the calendar year you turn 55, not at 55 and a day. The calendar year. Here's why that matters. Say you're going to turn 55 in March of next year, and your company offers you a package this December. If you take it and walk out in December, while you're still 54, you do not qualify for the rule of 55 on that 401k. You'd have to wait until 59 and a half for penalty-free access. But if you can hold on, even just into January of the year you turn 55, you're in. Same job, same account, same person. A few weeks on the calendar, and the difference is whether your own money is available to you for the next 4.5 years. If you're in your mid-50s and a buyout is on the table, the date you sign is not a detail. It's the whole game. Rule number 3. It protects one account, and a rollover destroys it. Now, the big one. The side door only opens for the 401k of the employer you just separated from. It does not cover the 401k from a job you left at 48. It does not cover any IRAs. Run on the plane, 59.5 rule, and have no separation from service exception. And here's where the money gets lost. If you roll that eligible 401k into an IRA after you leave, the rule of 55 evaporates. The instant the money lands in the IRA, it's governed by IRA rules, and IRA rules say 10% penalty before 59.5. This is the trap, and it's a cruel one, because rolling a 401k into an IRA is the most recommended move in all of personal finance. More choices, lower fees, one statement instead of 4. And the person recommending it has every incentive to suggest it and very little incentive to mention what you're giving up. Walter will say it plainly. Your advisor has a reason not to bring this up. The money is easier to manage and easier to charge a fee on, sitting in an IRA. Whether you can reach it before 59.5 is your problem, not theirs. There's a flip side to this rule that almost nobody uses, and it's pure upside. Because only your current employer's 401k qualifies, you can often roll your old orphan 401ks, and even rollover IRAs, into your current plan before you leave. Stack as much as your plan allows into that one eligible account. Then, when you separate at 55 or later, all of it sits behind the side door, penalty-free. Same dollars, different room. That's the move the brochure doesn't lead with. Quick pause. If what Walter's walking through is landing for you, if you're recognizing your own situation in any of this, the package on the table, the rollover form someone keeps emailing you, hit subscribe. YouTube does not push retirement content unless viewers actively tell the algorithm it's worth pushing. Subscribing is how this kind of analysis reaches more people about to sign a form they don't understand. Now, back to the rules. Rule number 4. Two exceptions change the math: public safety and the 457. If you're a police officer, a firefighter, an EMT, or another qualified public safety worker, your side door opens even earlier, at age 50, not 55. The tax code recognizes those careers end sooner and the rule is built around it. And if you've spent your career in government, a teacher, a city or state employee with a governmental 457B plan, you've got something better than the rule of 55. A governmental 457B has no early withdrawal penalty at all once you separate from service, at any age. No 55 threshold, no 59.5 wall. So if you're a teacher or a cop or a longtime government employee, and you've got both a 457 and a 403B or 401K, the order you tap them in matters. The 457 is the most flexible account you own, and most people treat it like the least. Rule number 5. The bridge, getting from 55 to 59.5 without a penalty. So what's the rule actually for? It's a bridge. If you're 55 to 65 and staring down the gap between the day the paychecks stop and the day your other money unlocks, the rule of 55 is what carries you across. It lets a 56-year-old fund 3 or 4 years of living expenses straight from the 401K, penalty-free, without having to touch Social Security early or raid a Roth they'd rather leave growing. But mind the bracket while you cross. In 2026, a married couple filing jointly sits in the 12% bracket up to $100,800 of taxable income, and with the $32,200 standard deduction. That's roughly $133,000 of total income before the 22% bracket starts. Pull modestly each year, and you fund the bridge while keeping most of it taxed at 12%. Pull one giant lump and you spike into 22% or higher, handing back a chunk of what the penalty exemption just saved you. Slow and level beats big and lumpy almost every year. Rule number 6. The rule of 55 versus 72T. There's another penalty-free door, and you should know it exists, so you don't get talked into it by accident. It's called a 72T, substantially equal periodic payments. It lets you pull penalty-free from an IRA at any age, but only if you commit to a rigid schedule of equal payments for the longer of 5 years, or until you hit 59.5. Miss a payment, change the amount, and the IRS retroactively penalizes every dollar you've taken back to day one. The rule of 55 is a side door you can walk through whenever you like. A 72T is a contract you sign in blood. For most people who qualify, the rule of 55 wins on flexibility alone. The 72T is the backup for people who already rolled to an IRA and lost the side door, which is exactly why you don't want to lose it. Let Walter make this concrete. Meet Mike and Susan. Write these numbers down because the difference between two reasonable-sounding choices is about to come into focus. Mike is 56. Susan is 54. This spring, Mike's employer offered an early retirement package, and he took it. Here's their picture. $600,000 in Mike's current employer 401K, the one he just separated from. A smaller $90,000 401K from a job Mike left back in his 40s. $140,000 in a joint brokerage account. $110,000 in Susan's Roth IRA. Susan still works part-time, bringing in about $45,000 a year. Neither has claimed Social Security. Both are years away from it. Their problem is the gap. Mike wants to be done, but they need income for the 3.5 years until Mike turns 59.5, and the main vault door opens on everything. They figure they need about $35,000 a year out of savings to top up Susan's income and hit the lifestyle they want. Over the bridge Call it $120,000. So they sit at the kitchen table with two options. Both feel reasonable. Path A, the tidy one. Mike rolls the $600,000 into an IRA, like the nice voice on the phone suggested. Cleaner, more choices, one account. Then he starts pulling his $35,000 a year to bridge the gap. But that money is now in an IRA, and Mike is 56. Every dollar before 59.5 carries the 10% penalty. On $120,000 across the bridge years, that's $12,000 in penalties, paid to the IRS purely because of which account the money was sitting in when he pulled it. And here's the part that should make Mike uncomfortable. That $12,000 isn't the real cost. The real cost is that once he sees the penalty, he might decide he can't afford to retire after all, and go back to work for 3 more years he didn't need to give up. Path B, the side door. Mike leaves the $600,000 right where it is in the former employer 401k. He separated in the year he was 56, so the rule of 55 applies. He pulls his $35,000 a year directly from that plan. Penalty, 0. And because that $35,000 stacked on Susan's $45,000 keeps their taxable income comfortably inside the 12% bracket, the tax bite stays small and predictable. Same $120,000 pulled. Same lifestyle. Same accounts at the start. The only difference is which door he walked through, and that one decision is worth $12,000 in hard cash. And, more importantly, the 3 years of his life he'd otherwise have spent earning money he didn't need. Same money, same spending, different door. And notice what smart sequencing did for Mike before he even left. He could have rolled that old $90,000 401k into his current plan before separating, putting $690,000 behind the side door instead of $600,000, without touching the brokerage or Susan's Roth at all. The Roth keeps growing tax-free for later. Now here's the part most retirement videos won't tell you, and it's the one that catches careful people. Let's say you do everything right. You time your exit for the correct calendar year. You leave the money in the 401k. You don't roll anything to an IRA. You qualify for the Rule of 55 perfectly, and then you call the plan to set up your withdrawals, and they tell you the plan only allows a full lump sum distribution, all of it, at once. This is real, and it's common. The IRS allows the Rule of 55, but the IRS doesn't run your plan. Your plan administrator does, and the plan's own rules decide how you're allowed to take the money. Plenty of 401ks, once you've separated, won't let you take a little at a time. It's all or nothing. And if it's all, your choices are ugly. Take the entire $600,000 in 1 year, which detonates your tax bracket and could cost more than the penalty ever would. Or roll it to an IRA for flexible withdrawals, destroying the Rule of 55 you carefully protected. The door was open. The plan nailed it shut from the inside. So the gotcha is this. The Rule of 55 is only as good as your specific plan's withdrawal rules. And the only way to handle it is to find out before you leave, while you still have leverage and an HR department that has to answer your calls. Pull the summary plan description. Find the section on distributions after separation. Look for the words partial or installment. If it says lump sum only, you may want to roll old accounts out and into something flexible before you separate, or rethink the timing entirely. The point is you decide this on purpose, with the document in front of you, not in a panic in March when the money won't come out the way you assumed. Here's the simple routine Walter wants you to walk through before you ever hand in your notice, ideally months ahead at the kitchen table with the plan document in one hand. 1. Confirm the calendar year. You must separate from your employer in or after the calendar year you turn 55. Age 50 if you're a qualified public safety worker. If a buyout is offered late in the year before, the date you sign can be worth more than the severance. 2. Pull your summary plan description and find the distribution rules after separation. Look for partial or installment withdrawals. If it's lump sum only, you have a problem to solve now, not later. 3. Consolidate into the eligible account before you leave. If your plan allows roll-ins, move your old orphan 401ks and rollover IRAs into your current 401k, so more of your money sits behind the side door. 4. Do not roll the eligible 401k into an IRA until you no longer need penalty-free access, meaning until you're past 59 and a half, or certain you won't touch it before then. Once it's in the IRA, the side door is gone. 5. Map your bridge. Add up what you need each year until 59 and a half, and plan to pull it in level amounts that keep your taxable income inside the 12% bracket. In 2026, that's up to $100,800 taxable for a married couple, about $133,000 of total income. 6. Watch the auto rollover trap. Under current rules, if you leave a balance between $1,000 and $7,000 behind and don't make an active choice, the plan can automatically roll it into an IRA for you, quietly stripping the Rule of 55 off that money. Make a deliberate choice so the plan doesn't make the wrong one for you. 7. And this is the one to remember if you forget the other 6. Protect the side door before you walk through it. Almost every Rule of 55 mistake is a piece of paper signed in the wrong order. Get the sequence right, and 4.5 years of your own money is yours when you need it. Yes, this sounds like a lot. But you do it once, in the months before you leave, and then it's done. The most expensive part of the Rule of 55 isn't the math. It's not knowing the rule existed until after you'd signed it away. Look, the Rule of 55 isn't really about a penalty. It's about whether a 56-year-old who could walk away feels free to or feels trapped into 3 more years because nobody showed him the bridge was already there. The penalty is 10%. The cost of believing you can't afford to leave is measured in the healthiest years you've got left. The whole point of learning this rule in your 50s is so the choice to keep working, or not, is actually yours. If this helped, do 3 things for Walter. Hit that like button so more people in your age range see this. Subscribe to Walter Explains Retirement so you don't miss the next deep dive. We're breaking down what actually changes at 59 and a half next, the day the main vault door finally opens. And in the comments, type the word unlock if you want Walter to do a full breakdown of the 72T route for people who already rolled to an IRA and lost the side door. I'm Walter. Your money is important, but your time and your health are priceless. Use the rules to your advantage, not theirs. I'll see you in the next.